One. Welcome to Spenny and the Nets, episode 239. It is December. We're recording this on a Sunday, but it's going to drop on a Tuesday. It is December 7th. And Nick, the Nets, I don't know if they're tanking right now. I don't know what the plan is. We're starting to win some games. We might not get a top three pick next year.
I don't think we're not tanking. I don't think the combinations that we're playing, we thought we would get these few wins with. But with that said, we're still in a pretty low ranking in the Eastern Conference, so I wouldn't get your hopes up just yet that we're putting together anything promising.
And I'm joined by Nick.
They're 13th at 6 and 17 currently. That'll change in a few days. Only ahead of the Pacers and the Wizards in the East, and only ahead of the Pelicans in the West. So I'm not sure where you're getting out of the bottom three, but as it is right now, we're pretty darn close.
Yeah, I mean, we'll break it down why I feel that way. I realized I didn't introduce you to start the show, so that was not the nicest.
Surprise! I am
Yes,
here.
Nick's
And
here.
as always, I'm joined by my Sean Kilpatrick bobblehead that I got on Sean Kilpatrick night at a Brooklyn Nets game.
Shout out to former net Sean Kilpatrick, also I believe Cincinnati Bearcat. I think that's where he went to college. All right, you brought up the Pelicans, Nick. If we're gonna tank, those are the teams that we probably shouldn't be beating, and we beat the crap out of them on Saturday. 119-101. This was just pure domination from start to finish by the Brooklyn Nets. Michael Porter Jr. continues to play like a fucking all-star. 35 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists. I believe he had 24 at halftime. He was 14 of 23 from the field, 5 of 10 from three. And every time he shoots it, it just seems like it's going in. He's having that kind of season, Nick. Thoughts to MPJ just being brilliant these last few games.
I mean, he led the game with a plus minus of plus 31, which is insane. By far and away the best on the team. I've been watching so many MPJ highlights, and all of you send me some, and some other Nets friends will send me some as well. He doesn't even take a second to think when he gets the ball to shoot. Which, listen, he gets a lot of shade. Like, he's never seen a shot he doesn't like. If he gets the ball, he's most likely shooting. But he shoots it at nearly 50% from the field. He has no fear. He's so tall. He gets so high. He could shoot over anyone. I mean, I've seen that dude have a man so close to his face, any coach, any trainer would say this is not a wise shot. And he seems so undeterred. Like, you could have anyone guarding him jump with him when he shoots it inches away, and he's not even paying attention to them. He's eyes locked in on the front of the rim. And most of the time, or half the time, which is incredible in basketball, it's going in. So I'm not gonna lie, only what, 20, a little over 20 games into the season, I'm thoroughly impressed with MPJ. If you looked at his numbers from Nuggets, especially the last few years, going down in the high teens to mid-teens of what he's averaging per game, especially in that last year, now he's absolutely destroying. And again, the circumstances, he's the guy on a pretty bad team, but the numbers don't lie. 26 points a game, shooting 49.6% from the field. And I just want to bring up very quickly last year on the Nuggets, 18 points a game, still 50% from the field. He's just freaking lights out shooting. But every stat has gone up for Michael Porter Jr., and I'm very happy with what he's doing.
I'll tell you this, Nick. You know who's not having as good of a season as Michael Porter Jr.? The guy that we traded away to bring in Michael Porter Jr. and a first round pick,
Cammy
Cam
Cam?
Johnson. His averages this year. You want to hear him?
Yeah.
11.3 points per game.
Yeah, shooting 46% from the field, so he's still efficient, but I think we always knew Cam Johnson wasn't as good as Michael Porter Jr., especially their ceilings. Maybe Cam Johnson's floor, he's consistent, but MPJ is just a force. He's a much bigger body, he's a better rebounder. He's streakier, but he gets much hotter than
I,
Cam Johnson.
I, I also think the thing that goes overlooked with Michael Porter Jr. the last few seasons is after that championship run, he's been dealing with a lot of back issues in Denver. So he hasn't really been fully healthy. And we've kind of seen like fragments of him kind of phased out of that Denver offense. And then he's trying to get his shot. It just, sometimes you just need a new place. You need a good offseason to recover. He is looking healthy. That's the one thing we gotta recognize with Michael Porter Jr. He's looking spry. He's dunking the ball. He's dunking the shit out of the basketball, and he's just playing at this elite level. Where look, he's 27 years old. Nick Cam Johnson's 29. Michael Porter Jr. is 27. I know when we acquired him, we thought, all right, let's build his value, then we'll use him as trade bait. Is this really a guy that we want to part with? Imagine getting another rookie in next year, a top three, top five pick. You put him alongside MPJ. Claxton continues to get better. Noah Clowney. And then all of a sudden, you start to get this young, hungry team in the East. I'm not so quick to say, hey, let's move Michael Porter Jr. right now.
Well, the way he's playing right now with Ben Simmons 2.0 or Danny Wolf, as I call him.
Don't call him that.
Sorry, peak Ben Simmons 2.0.
Let's not associate Ben Simmons with Danny Wolf. They're two different players. Let's leave it at that.
I hear what you're saying, but I get a little bit of the MPJ, like Cam Thomas vibe of like, is that the guy to build around? Again, I like MPJ a lot more than Cam Thomas, but I don't know. The Nuggets won a championship when MPJ was the fourth option. So you're looking at a championship contending team where he kind of has to take a back seat even behind like Aaron Gordon. So
No, you think I thought was he the fourth option on that team after Gordon? I thought he was third.
I think it depended on the night, but I think as time went on, Gordon became more of a reliable. It looked like Jokic and Murray wanted to pass it to Gordon more. It looked like Gordon chemistry wise fit into that team more, even if MPJ was a better shooter and maybe averaged more points per game. So I don't know. Who's the team in 5 years, right? MPJ, Danny Wolf, Noah Clowney, Claxton. You still need like a a Steph Curry or someone in the one or the two who's lights out who could provide a second scoring option.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm not saying he has to be our best player, but as efficient as he's been, I just feel like why can't he be part of the future here? That's all.
No, that's fair. I think it depends what we get from him too.
Now, this next guy, I'm not sure. I know I just mentioned his name in the future. I'm not sure that this isn't a guy that if you're the Nets, you try to move because Nick Claxton has been playing some of his best basketball as a Brooklyn Net. In this game, he finished with a triple double, Nick, 14 points, 11 rebounds, 10 assists. Um, he's doing a lot more this season than we've seen Nick Claxton do in the past. And what I mean by that is he's become a facilitator. Like he's a connector in this offense. He's catching the ball at the top of the key. He's handling it. They've given Nick Claxton a lot of freedom in this offense to say, hey, if you see the lane, take it, go to the rack. There's not a lot of people that can jump with you. If you don't see it, pass it out, make a move, make a decision. He has played really, really good basketball, Nick. And the fact that he only had 2 turnovers in this one and 10 assists, that's a really good ratio. So if
You know
I'm the
what?
Nets, yeah,
You know why your arguments for Michael Porter Jr. and Claxton are stupid? Is because you could say right now that MPJ is playing the best basketball of his life. You could say Nick Claxton's playing the best basketball of his life. You could say Noah Clowney is playing the best basketball of his life. You could say Danny Wolf is playing the best basketball of his life, even though it's obviously his first year, and we're still losing games. So like you could sit here and tell me like, how do we trade these guys? They're playing so well. They're all like hitting their season high, like their career highs. Great. But all of their career highs combined are 6 and 17 as a unit.
that's fine. It's their first year playing together. It's funny. Your father asked me the other day. Nick and I have the same father. He
So we
asked me
think.
like,
So we think.
he asked me, he's like, how many players from the Nets are that were on the team last year are on this roster? I think it's like 6. It's a very small amount of guys who were on the team last year that are on the team this year. I think it's Clowney, it's Claxton, it's Jalen Wilson, um, it's
Cam
Zaire
Thomas.
Williams, Cam Thomas, so that's like 5. It's Day'Ron Sharp, that's 6. Tyrese Martin, 7. That's kind of it. Everyone else is a new face, right? And a lot of the guys I mentioned are not getting crazy minutes. So I say that to say, yeah, maybe they're losing right now. It's everyone's first time playing together. Michael Porter Jr. played with Nikola Jokic for the past however many years. Terrence Mann, this is his first time in the Brooklyn Nets roster. Like all these
I hear
rookies have to,
you.
so you got to give them time to gel. The Thunder had to suck before they got really good. And the year that they were bad, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander literally was like, "Hey, we're coming. Don't worry. This was a bad year. I'm fine. You're supposed to lose games when your guys are rookies, but give them a year, give them a second. You make a few minor tweaks. My point is this, Nick. Like, you have the bones for a decent team. You have a few bones. You gotta create the whole body, but like Noah Clowney, he's a good bone. Jaeger Dioman, great bone. That's a good bone to have. You want to get boned by Danny Wolf?
I don't. I'd rather get wolfed by Danny Bone. I hear. Listen, I get it. The Thunder also though are like the pinnacle. So like it's hard to be like it's like the Thunder where four of the guys who were like mid first round to second round draft picks are going to end up being all stars. Like nobody saw Lou Dort being a championship basketball player, right? Like there's all these things that had to happen for the Thunder to be in the position they're in. Now I hear you. It's the first year. And there are games where we're gelling together, and you're like, holy shit, if Clowney drops 20, Wolf has 18, and MPJ has 35, we could win a game. My point is, there's also a ceiling for players that just might not be the caliber of the players you need to win a championship. And there might be a world where MPJ at his best, Noah Clowney at his best, and Danny Wolf at his best is still a mid-tier trio, right? So just take that with a grain of salt that they're gelling occasionally. I still think the Thunder had to draft Chet Holmgren, right? Like you have to have a guy at some point who's a top tier pick or a guy who you get in a good trade that is now putting you over that threshold. The Thunder had to do a lot of things to get that. They had to give away Giddy. They had to, like a lot of pieces will still be moved on this Nets team. And I know for the sake of the podcast, we're going to talk about how much we love the current guys, but in 2 to 3 years, this team could look entirely different.
Well, let me ask you a question. So I love, first of all, it's a great point to bring up. Brilliantly said. My question to you is this. Next year, Nets have a top three pick. We draft our Chet Holmgren, right?
Yeah.
At least one or two of these rookies, these five rookies, are going to be better next season. Why can't Michael Porter Jr. be our Shea Gilgeous-Alexander?
He'll never be Shea Alexander.
Okay, all right. See, I'm just asking. I'm just asking.
But listen, do I think Michael Porter Jr. could be your Klay Thompson? Just as like the number
So you're
two
saying a
shot.
better second. All right, I understand what you're saying. I get it.
And hey, I hope I'm wrong. I just don't think MPJ has the intangibles. He doesn't have the veteran or leadership qualities I've seen. He's not a passer by any means, and that's okay. But I need to see he's not a lockdown defender unless I'm wrong here. Like
No, you're right.
he's a good rebounder and he's a good shooter, and those are great. I don't know if that's look at SGA, what he does all over the court from scoring to passing to drawing free throws. Look what Jokic does. Look what Kevin Durant, like all these guys, I think are just slightly different.
All right, so two
Kevin
things.
Durant's probably the closest to
Two
MPJ.
two things. Number one, I was not going to compare like them individually against each other. It was more like, can he play the SGA role for the Nets and make the Nets contenders? And your answer is no, because he can't play that role. He's better in a two. That's what you're saying.
He's better coming off the pick. He's not creating his own
Right. No,
shots.
no, I'm with you. I'm with you. I had to ask. Look, the numbers he's putting up are ridiculous right now. Now, the second thing I was going to say is there's definitely people on Nets Twitter or who listen to the podcast. There's a group of people saying you're fucking high off your ass if you're going to put MPJ and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander in the same conversation. Then there's another group of optimistic people, and these are the people that message was for that are going to say, you know what? I never really thought of it like that because SGA was putting up big numbers when the Thunder were stinky, and then they got good. So MPJ putting up big efficient numbers while the Nets are stinky. Who knows? I'm just
And
saying.
nobody, to your point, and to the optimists, nobody saw SGA become the MVP and a championship contender. So like, and winner. So that is a very rare occurrence, but it's possible.
All right, rookies were fine in this game. Nothing crazy. Danny Wolf had some highlights, but There's nothing really of note. Sarath has been playing better as of late. So shout out to them. And then that was really it. Clowney was fine in this game. It was really MPJ and Claxton. They kind of stole the show for the Nets. And kudos to the Pelicans. Like a lot of talent on that team. I think Jeremiah Fears is going to be a hell of a player. Trey Murphy the third, obviously really talented. He finished with 23 in this one. And then you obviously have Derek Queen out there who did not play very well, but they're executing the tank very properly. Like they suck. They got to get off Zion eventually and just totally restart. But oh, I'm sorry. It doesn't even matter that they're tanking because they traded their first round pick to Atlanta for Derek Queen. So that pick actually belongs to Atlanta. Forget I said that. All right, Nick. Nets, Bulls, 113 Nets, 103 Bulls. We're going to go back to Wednesday. This was the second win in a row for the Nets. Michael Porter Jr. finished with 33 points and one board in this game. Noah Clowney had 20 points on six three-pointers and seven boards. He had a nasty throwdown early on, if I remember correctly. And then Nick, hometown, Danny Wolf played in front of 100 of his family and friends. He had 8 points, four rebounds, three assists in 25 minutes, but he gets the win. What were your thoughts on this game between the Nets and the Bulls?
Danny Wolf had the highest plus minus on the Nets at 11, plus 11. Second was Drake Powell with 8. Obviously, those are going to be some like throwaway minutes at the end of the game. But that's of note. Danny Wolf played 25 minutes and was overall the most positive player on the team. Um, I think the Bulls are kind of poo-poo. Um, so again, this is a game I take with a grain of salt. The Bulls are 9 and 12, so not oh yeah, they were at the time. They're now 9 and 13. So even worse. Yeah, like you said, another baller game for MPJ, and that seems to be a recurring theme in all of our wins that we need MPJ to kind of be 30 or more. And obviously as these other guys come out of their shell, like Wolf's been getting better and better. Clowney, if he puts up 20 points a game, we're in a good position. But again, bad team. If MPJ carries us, and I think every game I'm seeing like two or three different guys step up and get double digits.
Yeah, I mean, in this one, Nick Claxton, a near triple double, 14 points, eight boards, nine assists. He was 6 of 7 from the field. The Nets really took over in that fourth quarter. Um, just a nice win. This was a nice win. The rookies played well. In this one, I believe. Yeah, Danny Wolf had 8 points. You mentioned the highest plus minus. Jaeger Joman finished with 10 points, four assists for him. Saraf came in. He had 6 points. He was 2 of 3 from the field, and then Drake Powell with 5 points. They're all contributing. That's what you love to see is Powell coming in there. He hits a three. Saraf clearly is not a good shooter, but he's putting them up there. He's getting at least two or three a game, three pointers up. His misses are fucking ugly, man. Let me tell you, when he misses the entire basket and it's just an air ball, it's a tough watch, but he keeps putting them up. So kudos to everyone in this game on the Nets. Like everyone contributed. Zaire Williams with 8 points off the bench. For the Bulls, I like Buzelis. I think he's got good game. Giddey is their all-star. If they send someone to the all-star game, it's going to be Josh Giddey. He's been really good. Um, and the one guy I do want to give the flowers, I did this before, but like Nick Claxton, just the fact that you know, he had a triple double against the Pelicans, almost triple double in this game. Like he's been playing really well. So I wanna make sure I give him his praise because I know I'm critical of Claxton when he wasn't good last year. All right, Nick.
Giddy's
Yeah,
averaging 20, 10, and 9.
yeah, he's a monster,
He's
absolute monster.
could potentially finish the year averaging a triple double. And props to him getting that fucking loser kid kicked out of that game who was talking shit to him. I respected that. Giddy was like, yo, that you crossed the line. Can you guys remove this guy? Some kid with like sunglasses in the second row was just chirping him the whole time.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you know, Josh Giddey. Yeah, I get it. All right, Nick, we move on to the Jazz Nets game. Jazz ended up beating the Nets 123-110. This game was pretty close. Nets were in this for the most part. I believe they led for a lot of the first half, and then they just got absolutely bombarded by the Jazz in that fourth quarter. I think they were outscored 42-20. Um, but things you like to see from the Nets, Noah Clowney had a absolute ridiculous game. 14 points in the first quarter. He finished with 29 points in the game. Getting to the line a lot more, being just way more aggressive. Like, very happy what I saw from him. Uh, Danny Wolf's show continues, man. 17 points, 9 boards, 3 assists for Danny Wolf. He had 3 made threes. It felt like in that fourth quarter they put him back in to kind of be the point forward. That's how he closed out in Chicago, and um, unfortunately, just didn't. The Jazz just got too hot. But good game from Danny Wolf. Good game from Noah Clowney. Otherwise, yeah. I mean, this is a good loss. Like, this is a loss you want to have when you're tanking.
Danny Wolf, one of the highest again. Him and Jalen Wilson were the highest plus minuses. Danny 7, Wilson 11. So Danny was second. But again, all your big time players, Claxton minus 19, Clowney minus 12, Man minus 16. So interesting to see when Wolf's on the floor. He seems to be an overall positive to the team.
He is he is so fun to watch. He makes the right basketball play 99% of the time. If he's open to shoot, he'll make the shot. He's a really solid 3-point shooter. Um, I don't want to sugarcoat how impressed I am with this kid. Out of all of these rookies, I expected Saraf to struggle. I expected Joman to struggle. Traore, I was surprised with how much he struggled initially with the Nets. But I did not expect like I watched Wolf in the preseason. He was solid. It seemed like the game was a little bit quick for him. So that was my only concern. I just thought he wouldn't be able to kind of handle the defensive intensity that the NBA brings. He is bringing up the ball. He is like his turnovers are not terrible turnovers. He had a shot clock turnover where the ball ended up in his hands. He puts it up, he misses. That's a shot clock turnover. Like he had a play where, he passed it to someone and it hit the person's hands, went out of bounds. Like a lot of the turnovers are not his fault, but I'm just very impressed with how he's handling opposing teams' defenses. He is just finding the open guy. He's able to handle it, and he has a really creative game for a 7-footer. Like we don't see this a lot from guys his height.
My only advice to Danny Wolf would be shave your shoulders. You got little fuzzy pubes on your shoulders, and I would just like wax or shave them because when you're in a press conference or a post-game interview, and I'm just seeing like some lollipop hair stuck to your shoulders, like I just am a little distracted. Especially when you start playing well, you're gonna get more and more interviews, my man. Just groom a little bit is what I would say. Groom the wolf. The wolf's a little hairy.
I have noticed the hairy shoulders. I'd be lying to you if every time the camera zooms in on him, I don't my eyes don't go directly towards that. But hey, like I respect and love the human body if they're gonna play good basketball.
I'm glad you respect and love the human body. That's a good phrase.
We got to show Zaire Williams some love. 23 points for Zaire, 7 of 14 from the field, 3 of 10 from three. I I got to give credit to him because obviously with these young guys coming in, like his roles changed up a little bit. Some games he starts, some games he comes off the bench. He's coming off the bench most games these days, but he stays ready. Like 23 points off the bench is no joke. He was our second leading scorer after Noah Clowney. And then Day'Ron Sharpe came in. He gave the Nets 10 off the bench. Ben Saraf, 12 off the bench, 4 of 7 for Saraf. Again, he's the thing I like about Saraf is he's getting a little bit better each game. Defensively, he's been getting some steals lately. The pressure's just been there a little bit more from Ben Saraf, and since he's kind of been called back up, I don't hate what I've seen from him. And by the way, he has this really nice go-to move that like I kind of wish that I could pull off and pick up. And I don't know if you're able to do it, but he takes a step, right? But then he doesn't put his second foot down and he holds it. He kind of balances on one foot for like 2 or 3 seconds. The defender jumps, and then as the defender is coming back down, that's when he takes the next step and puts it in. It's kind of a brilliant move.
I like that. That's cool.
Yeah, so shout out to Ben Saraf. Again, tough loss, but this was a loss you needed to have on Friday against the Jazz. And then you come back the next day. I'm sorry, you come back 2 days later, you win against the Pelicans on Saturday. I'm trying to think. I thought Clowney had a 30-point game. No, this was 20 points. Yeah, I'm thinking the 30-point game that Clowney had was a week ago, but Noah Clowney playing some really good basketball. All right, Nick. we got to talk about the NBA rumors. Like the big report last week was that Giannis Antetokounmpo wants out of Milwaukee, and him and his agent are working with the Bucks to find a team that could make a deal for Giannis. Nick, where do we think that he ends up? And please tell me it's not the New York Knicks.
I don't have any reason right now to believe that if he did leave, he would go anywhere else but the New York Knicks. It just seems like that's the play and a smart play at that.
For
But
who? For
for
Giannis or the
Giannis and
Bucks
the
or the
Knicks,
Knicks? Because
I
it's
think
not smart for the Bucks.
it's not smart for the Bucks. Nothing's gonna be smart for the Bucks if they're parting with Giannis and they're stuck with his two brothers. Here's my thing with the Knicks with Giannis. If they get Giannis, they have to win a championship. Like they have no other excuses because they have a very solid team right now, yet somehow they never seem like they're getting over that threshold to be a championship contender. Even when they made those runs, like I just still felt that KAT isn't the guy that he thinks he is. Brunson's the only guy on that team, and Bridges stepped up more than he did on the Nets, where all of a sudden Bridges is like lights out from mid-range in the playoffs. Like fuck that. But I don't think they win a ship without getting someone like Giannis. And if they do get him and don't win, I think that's humiliating and a complete failure for the organization. So you know what? Get Giannis. Get Giannis. I hope it blows up in their face and we can laugh at the Knicks together. Ha ha ha.
So, yeah, I mean, up until right now, I was like going to tell you that the Knicks blew their load with the Mikal Bridges trade, so they don't have a lot of picks. So hypothetically, if the Knicks and the Bucks were to send Giannis to New York, there would have to be a third team involved to give the Knicks picks. And up to this point, I didn't think that Giannis was gonna like, because then the other fear is that Giannis is gonna force his way to the Knicks and be like, hey, like you have to trade me to the Knicks. I don't want to be traded anywhere else. And maybe the Bucks try to do it because they're a good team. Jake Fisher just updated us. Jake L. Fisher, he's an NBA insider. Giannis Antetokounmpo desires to be traded to the Knicks above all the rest in the event that he actually does fully ask out someday.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? So, okay, this totally changes my perspective because my perspective was like the Knicks don't have a chance because there's teams out there like the San Antonio Spurs, the Atlanta Hawks, the Miami Heat, the OKC Thunder, actually, teams that can offer the Bucks a future or a good player and a bunch of picks. The Knicks can't do that. They don't have the picks. This worries me. As a Brooklyn Nets fan, the fact that this came out and this sounds like a leak from his agent, he desires to be traded to the Knicks in the event that he does ask for a trade someday.
I mean, give him Cat, Josh Hart, and McBride for Giannis, and now you still have Anunoby, Brunson, and Bridges and Giannis. You're that's a sick team. I also saw some rumors about the 76ers, which I'd be much happier to see him go to the Sixers. I actually like some of the young guys in the Sixers. I think they have a good future. That could be a guy to build for the next 2 to 3 years around with some of your developing young guys who are looking fucking dope. But yeah, I mean, to your point, it would just suck. It would just suck if he went to the Knicks. But I would be happier to see him than Cat because I think Cat's a big old wimpy boy.
Real fast, Nick, I want to go back to the Nets. Nolan Traore in the G League, just so you're familiar with his game. 30 points on December 5th. He had 4 rebounds, I believe 6 assists, 2 turnovers, and he followed up that 30-point performance with a 26-point performance, 4 of 5 from three, plus 12, hit a clutch three before the hockey assist for the win. He's been picking it up in G League. I'm very excited for Nolan Traore because this is a young guy from France. Give him some time. I think he's going to be really good. Again, this is another piece like Marks took 5 guys. You got to give him time to develop. We're giving them time. They're showing us. Shout out to Nolan Traore. I'm excited for him to get his second run with the Nets.
I mean, dude, we dipped Danny Wolf down to the G League, comes back freaking getting almost a triple double. So I mean, if that's what it takes, send him down, get him motivated, whip him into shape, bring him back up, baby. Let's rock.
Let's rock, baby. All right, that does it for this week's episode of Spenny and the Nets, ep 239. Thanks to my little bro Nick for popping on. We love you, Nick. We appreciate you, and we respect the human body.
Much love, respect, the human body.
All right, go Nets.